eSports on a Tuesday. Glad to have you guys in here talking Titans this morning after Mike Vrabel went on the Dan Hellie podcast, the Hellie Pod from the NFL Network. Really good conversation that I listened to yesterday, and some things came out of that. Mike Vrabel talked about Jadeveon Clowney because he was asked about Jadeveon Clowney by Dan Hellie. So we'll get some quick reaction off of that. But Mike Vrabel took us inside his coaching style and how he teaches in Titans team meetings, which I thought was pretty good. So we'll play you that audio. Then we'll talk about Mike Vrabel's best quality as Titans head coach. We'll discuss that. Then there is a top 40 quarterback ranking that Chris Sims is doing from NBC Sports. So we'll get Chris Sims's top 40. He's got Ryan Tannehill on that list. And we feel like somebody's missing overall from this list. So Zach, welcome in. Then the end of show topic is favorite sports drink. As you see, was a Gatorade Powerade up there. Maybe you're giving away your favorite flavor because you got blue up there with both Gatorade and Powerade. I don't know, but we'll get to our end of show topic, your favorite sports drink, here later on too.
Yeah, the who's missing part of things is actually pretty interesting. We're going to need our viewers' help. We're gonna call on our viewers to see if we can crack this case, because literally I listed off all starting quarterbacks this morning, Austin, off the top of the dome, and somebody's missing, but I don't think anybody's missing, but somebody's missing. I don't know. I'm confused. So we're going to have power to the people. We're going to ask you guys. That second segment is going to be all about you guys to see if we can crack this cake. Go a little Sherlock Holmes and Watson and see if we can figure it out. Not Deshaun Watson, but actually try to do a little bit of investigative work. Before we get going, though, please share the show. Bottom right corner of your screen, if you're watching on Periscope/Twitter, you'll see those three little dots. Tap that bad boy and retweet the broadcast. We need to pop up in your Twitter followers timeline. Also, Facebook, what's going on, Facebookers, as well as YouTube, Twitch, and IG. But for our Facebook family, please share the show. Bottom left corner of your screen, share now to public. That is share now to public. We're going to have a great show, and more people will pile in over the next 5 to 10 minutes. We need to pop up in your Facebook friends news feed. You know, coming off a long weekend of beach and drinking, I'm not yet at a 10, Austin. Yesterday I was probably at a 5.7. Today I'm at I would say 8.2. So working about 82% on today's show, but that's what happens when you get older and you try to party like a rock star of a 22-year-old. God knows how long Tommy Lee has been able to live. I don't understand any of the people from Poison or from Van Halen that were able to party on. Maybe they're alcoholics, and I'm not. I don't know. I don't know how that worked, but we're rocking and rolling, baby, on a Tuesday.
Well, Mookie says you were more like a 3 yesterday, so that's his opinion. Maybe we can give a ranking of Zach's out of 10, Zach's performance. And you also dropped the Shop Boys reference with Party Like a Rock Star, which I haven't thought about them Shop Boys in a long ass time. So let's get it going officially. Welcome into A to Z Sports, powered by TennesseeTickets.com. I'm Austin Stanley. He is Zach Bingham. Make sure you follow us on Twitter at A to Z Sports, and you like our Facebook page at A to Z Sports Nashville, where Nashville's on-demand sports network, and we go live every weekday morning at 8 Central Time. Got to thank our sponsors because they do make it happen for us and for you guys. TennesseeTickets.com. If you want to buy Titans tickets, you can do that safely with TennesseeTickets.com. They will give all of your money back if fans are not allowed at the games. TennesseeTickets.com. Also use code Titans20 to save $20 off Titans ticket purchases right there. Renters Warehouse, the professional landlords at the Nashville area. RentersWarehouse.com is where to go to find out how much your home can rent for. Mandu, the Pulse of Fitness, where one 15-minute workout simulates 5+ hours in the weight room because of full-body electronic muscle stimulation. The science is real. The results are real. Mandu.com. The Tucker Agency, Nashville's independent insurance agency, giving you relief by saving you an average of 20% on your insurance. TuckerTN.com and CalvinandSuttle.com. If you're looking for new floors, new hardwood floors and finishing, that's the place to go. CalvinandSuttle.com. Zach, Mike Vrabel went on the Dan Hellie podcast. We'll play some audio here in a minute or so about his teaching methods as Mike Vrabel takes us inside Titans meeting rooms. But there was a little bit of conversation about Jadeveon Clowney, where Dan Hellie asked Mike Vrabel about Jadeveon Clowney. And Mike Vrabel said a lot of words, but did he really say anything about Clowney?
Well, no, the only thing that I learned about Jadeveon Clowney and Mike Vrabel's relationship is that Vrabel calls him JD. That's how he refers to Jadeveon Clowney, old JD. And he said the exact same thing that you would think a coach would say is, if John Robinson and I are working to help improve this football team, if he can help improve his football team, we want him to help improve this football team. So a bunch of nothing, but I think Vrabel did recognize why he hasn't been signed so far. It's because the money and because the lack of physical, right? You can't actually go see JD, as they call him, and figure out if they want to pay him the sum of money JD is asking for. So that's what I got out of that. A whole bunch of nothing. But the Clowney saga will continue, probably carry on over into July, and we'll see how that works. We'll obviously be tracking it as it goes. Yeah, for sure. But one of the things, and I thought it was a good podcast episode, it was recorded in person in the Titans facility. I guess Dan Hellie flashes that NFL Network badge, which allows him to be in the Titans facility when everybody else is not allowed in the Titans facility. Like players can't even go in. But yeah, sure, Dan Hellie, you can go ahead and go do a podcast with the head coach, unlike anybody else. But it was some good conversation. And I noticed some things that of really what they were talking about that I really did enjoy. And it was about Mike Vrabel's coaching methods. And really, he took us inside the Titans meeting room, which I thought was pretty valuable and something that we really haven't heard Vrabel speak too much in depth about. So here is Vrabel with Dan Hellie talking about how he teaches in team meetings.
Well, when you have direct teaching, it's easy because you're always asking questions, and we ask a ton of questions here. Our staff, I demand it, because there's two reasons why we ask questions. One is because if you know it and you answer it confidently, it gives your teammates and your coaches confidence in you that you know it. Right. So they're like, okay, this guy knows what he's talking about. He can speak it in front of 60 guys and tell us what the game plan is or tell us what his job is. I'm going to line up with this guy. The other reason is because if they don't know it, then we can fix it efficiently and quickly. We don't have to wait until the meeting's over or and he says, or he makes a mistake on the field. It's okay to say, I don't know. But if you ever get done with a meeting and you say, does anybody have any questions? I guarantee you 0 hands go up. Because one, they want to go get on their phone.
They want to get out of there.
Yeah. So we don't say, or we try to steer clear.
As Tyler's nodding his head, by the way.
We try to steer clear of saying, does anybody have any questions?
Right.
Because invariably no one is going to ask a question. But if I say, hey, Dan, how many new free agents were there in 2001 when I went to the Patriots? And if you don't answer 26.
29 is what I was going to say.
26, right. Yeah. And if you don't say 26, then I got to go back and I got to say, hey, Danny, hey, Bill signed 26 new guys that year, completely turned the roster over because the record was 5-11 in 2000.
Right.
So now, okay, it's okay that maybe you didn't remember, but I got to go back and I got to reteach that, the fact that, and I'm just using that because it came up earlier in the dialogue.
Yeah.
We could be going over 2 minutes in a team meeting room.
So that's Dan Hellie there with Mike Vrabel. Vrabel got Hellie on that because earlier in the conversation, Vrabel talked about 26 free agents because the Patriots were 5-11. They had to flip the roster. And so he showed a perfect example of Dan Hellie not really retaining all the information they were talking about earlier. So I thought that was a really good example of Mike Vrabel showing how he teaches Titans players on a podcast right there. So, Zach, that's the first time you've heard that. What was your initial reaction to hearing that from Vrabel?
Well, for me, I think it'll definitely aligns with what we've gotten to know Vrabel as, right, as a head coach and really kind of as a man. And I've always said this, I think he's grown as a head coach from, his first year to second year, obviously with the results he definitely has. But I think the best, and we'll talk about the quality, what he tells me right here is Mike Vrabel makes sure that the job is being done that needs to be done, right? He's going to make sure that all of his players know what they need to know. And this is what it is. your ass better be on your P's and Q's, or your head better be on a swivel, not only on the practice field, but also in the meeting rooms, because at any point in time, he'll call your ass out. I love that. I absolutely love that, right? Because in class, we were all in school at some point, right?
Yeah.
Some people sat in the back, some people sat in the front. I had to sit in the front. I could not sit in the back. I was usually the only person in the room that had to have an assigned seat. It was either me and another guy or me and somebody else, but I had to have the assigned seat because I don't stop flapping my gums and I'm always making jokes, but I also pay the F attention. Some people in the back don't pay attention, and the teacher, when they call on them, they don't know what's going on. Vrabel, I feel like, makes sure everybody in the meeting room, whether it's just like huge team meeting or individual positions, you have to pay attention because he will ridicule you if you don't know the answer, because it's a job, it's not school, right?
Yes.
And that, I think, is important. And I think that's why he's been able to get what he's been able to get out of his players thus far.
Well, and we've heard examples of this with busing with the boys, because you've got Titans players who go on the bus with Lawan and Compton, and they talk about that because in those examples, you got three guys who played under Mike Vrabel in Tennessee, and that can share those shared experiences of being the guy who's called on, and whether you're prepared to answer the question or you're unprepared to answer the question. And Zach, I know Buck Rising is on vacation this week, so I definitely know he's not watching the show right now, but maybe we can take some of Vrabel's teaching methods in our meetings with Buck. When we talk with Buck, instead of asking Buck, do you have any questions? We say, okay, Buck, what are you doing here in this situation? What are you doing there in this situation to test Buck's retention rate there?
Well, and I think Mookie hit it right there on the head, and we talk about this, and it's probably going to be my answer to the question. Well, we can go ahead and ask the question, because I'll tell you a quick story about Buck. We'll go behind the curtain of A to Z Sports. This is actually a pretty good story, and how I handle things and how Buck handled things. This was last week when I was on vacation driving down to the beach, right? It's a great story. I don't think Buck, well, it's too bad I'm going to tell it. Buck's not going to mind.
Buck has no
decision
making in this
because he did what it is. But it's a very similar situation. I think, look, we've all been in these situations, right? And when you work or when you're in school, when you are a kid to a parent or whatever, you got there are responsibilities. So the question we're going to ask is, what is Mike Vrabel's strongest coaching quality as you've seen it as Titans fans? We've got a lot of Titans fans watching this show right now. But what is Mike Vrabel's strongest coaching quality in your opinion?
Yeah, so we'll get to that, and then we'll have Zach tell his story about Buck, about what happened last week in one of these experiences. But first, before we do that, Zach, tell the people about the Tucker Agency and how they can help save some money.
Yeah, they can help you save a lot of money. Will at tuckertn.com. Will Tucker and his agency, his team can help you put some more money back into your pocket, because you have insurance, home insurance, life insurance, renter's insurance, whatever it is. He can bundle your policy. The average customer saves 20% when they switch over to the Tucker Agency, tuckertn.com. But more importantly, the simple thing is, after this show, you've got a phone, you've got a computer, whatever, find a way to email him, will at tuckertn.com. And all you have to do is say, hey, heard about you on A to Z Sports. How can I save money on my insurance? His team will then go to work, look at your policy, probably do a little bit of adjustments, and you'll put money right back onto your table to help feed your family or to pay your bills. That's will at tuckertn.com.
All right, A to Z Sports here on a Tuesday. Don't forget, AZ30 gets you 30% off anything and everything at shop.atozsportsnashville.com. That is 30% off with the code AZ30 at checkout to get some A to Z gear, some really comfortable shirts, great hats for sure. A to Z Sports, shop.atozsportsnashville.com. The question that we've posed is, what is Mike Vrabel's strongest coaching quality? We played the audio from the Dan Hellie podcast of Mike Vrabel saying, asking questions to players in team meetings is how he gets the point across and make sure he knows that's how his guys know, not just ending the meeting with, does anybody have any questions? Because nobody's going to have a question. So before we get to your answers, and we've got a lot of answers coming in about what Mike Vrabel's strongest coaching quality is. First, Zach, you want to tell them about the story with Buck last week?
Yeah, so I'm driving down to the beach, and we just look. We won't take a lot of time. We won't get on this topic. You guys discussed it last week, but Buck wrote and put a lot of effort and time into his Colin Kaepernick piece. Pros and cons of the Titans signing Colin Kaepernick because they had two non-experienced backup quarterbacks, right? And he showed good points and bad points. I thought it was a good article. He wasn't sitting there saying, I mean, take a look, not necessarily sign him today. It was an article. But there's a method to how we do things. And so I wanted him to put a picture of Colin Kaepernick and a Titans logo in the top left corner of the picture. Well, when I go on and I actually click it, because I was driving at the time, I see that he put it in the top right corner. Well, what did I do? I call Buck and I say, could you read me the text message out loud? I told him this. I go, read me the text message aloud of the instructions that I told you to do on the picture. And he said, put the Titans logo in the top left corner of the picture. I go, Buck, could you go to your article and look and see where the Titans logo is located? And he goes, oh, damn. It's in the top right-hand corner. And look, admitted his mistake. And I said, look, Buck, just follow instructions. I'm going to call you out on that. I can't just let that go. And I feel like that's – and G-Man Base brings something up. He says, is it okay to be considered a player's coach? And then he makes a joke asking for Tom Coughlin. But I do think players' coaches are more prevalent in today's game, right? And you can be an offensive guru like Sean McVay and be a player's coach like Sean McVay. I think Mike Vrabel, very intelligent, but also considered a player's coach, right? So
No,
I'm interested to hear what all everybody has to say about Vrabel's coaching style. I think he's doing a good job so far.
Yeah. So what is Mike Vrabel's strongest coaching quality? So we've got Rob saying on Periscope that he's a risk taker. Dom saying preparation. That's a good one. Corey on Facebook saying his ability to connect with his players is very important. I got your boy Matthew Gillenwater says his ability to teach in a relatable format. That's a good comment there too. Joe Dan saying being able to relate to the players. Let's find some more. Jeff says he's a great strategist, i.e. the punting penalties, and he gets the most out of the players on his team. Ross says the connections with players. He knows how to push them and knows when to push them. Johnny Lee on Periscope saying he's a player's coach like one of the guys than a head coach, but that's why he's respected. I think I think Mike Vrabel is very careful in the one of the guys comment from Johnny Lee that he doesn't want to be one of the guys, but he also wants to understand and get along with his players on a personal level. So I do think he follows a thin line of that and typically does a pretty good job of that. LGRW on YouTube says perhaps his ability to motivate the team. And Joe Michael Presley says he's relatable. D. Marie saying, I love how he literally is hands-on with his coaching. And Al Pierce, last comment I'll read here, not only his knowledge, but his inside perspective on the game at all levels of his career. Couple that with his ability to communicate with the players and coaches, he kills it. Zach, what do you think is Mike Vrabel's strongest coaching quality that you've seen through 2 seasons as Titans head coach?
Yeah, so I think a lot of our commenters have gotten it right. I mean, they understand, even though they're not around Mike Vrabel a lot, they listen to him in press conferences. They know how he talks. The accountability is one word that I bring up a lot. I feel like he's very accountable, but I will go with a different way of describing Mike Vrabel's best coaching strength. I think from what I've seen. You talk about self-awareness. I think he's player aware. So self-aware, he's player aware. He's very understanding of what a player wants and needs, but he also is exactly the guys are not going to have any questions. He's very player aware about that.
Yeah.
So he's not going to ask, do you have any questions? Because that question is a rhetorical question. He's going to call and say, Austin, are you paying attention? What did I just say? Right? And you're going to have to be like, well, you said that the middle linebacker has to go here and the defensive lineman has to crash down for the stunt to happen for the defensive end to go around him. That's what you said, Coach. Very good, Austin, right? He's very player aware. He's not just going to sit on his hands and assume that you know what he's talking about.
Yeah, somebody earlier in the comments, it's gone way too far away in the comment scroll for us to go back to it to Nate give the credit. But they said something along the lines of, you always paid more attention in class when you knew the teacher would call on random students because you never wanted to be that guy who's caught with their pants down and you don't know what the hell is happening. That's like
you
the
always
worst.
Pay attention to the teacher who's paying attention.
Yes. And like there's like nobody wanted, like, you know, when you in English and you had to like read a book and you like skipped around and like you would read 2 paragraphs and you had to call on somebody else to read 2 paragraphs. Nobody liked reading out loud, right? No, but you also did not like when the teacher called on you at random to come up with a board and do something or recite something back to what they said earlier. And BMO takes credit on IG Live for that comment earlier in the show. So that's a good one. So I like I thought about that, being player aware and also knowing what's best for his players and knowing when to push his players. To take your step a little further, for another example, is training camp. Knowing when guys might need that off practice day. Knowing how to protect them against unnecessary media clips with injury information and not trying to compare players to another player from the past because that's unfair to a player. He's very aware of how he wants his players to be treated, and it's fairly. So he does a good job at that. I think when I'm looking at the best coaching quality for Mike Vrabel, I think of something, and maybe this is me not being around as many coaches, but when I think of NFL coaches, I think of guys who are trying to manage personalities, not as much develop talent, because they don't have time to develop a player. They want a guy to come in, be near finished product, to come in, do their job, win games, because it's business, right?
That's what we drafted you to do.
Right, that we drafted you to come do your job, right? Because you develop guys in college. But I think Mike Vrabel does an incredible job of actually developing players in practice and in meeting rooms. And I think that's really one of his strongest qualities as a head coach, is that he actually does know how to take a player at the level they're at and get them just a little bit better or maybe a lot of bit better, and make sure he can maximize their skill set on their team. And so that's where I was going to go with it. It's player development, because you don't hear that with a lot of NFL coaches. A lot of NFL coaches are impatient with player development because they don't have time to be patient. Where Mike Vrabel, as somebody mentioned, that he's very hands-on with his coaching and teaching. And I think you're seeing the Titans benefit from that, because you're getting, one, better players, and you're also strengthening relationships between coaching staff and the players as well, to where you get the most out of those guys when you need them. Like David Long Jr., great example. Harold Landry coming along, another great example. I'm curious to see what happens with DeAndre Walker this year after he was sitting out for his whole rookie year last year too.
Yeah, so I'll tell you a quick story now that is less relevant because of what we know now. And that was when Marcus Mariota was playing in those first 6 weeks. They were 2-4. In the midst of it, I can't remember what game it was, but I talked to somebody, a part of the organization, and they told me that, I was asking, I was like, what is Vrabel thinking about this? Their offense blows. They can't score. The Jacksonville game was awful, right? They had good against Atlanta and Cleveland.
Well,
and
if you think about it, they went the second half against Atlanta with a goose egg. They scored 7 points against Buffalo, and that was off of a Kevin Byard interception near the red zone. And then they went scoreless for 4 quarters against the Broncos. So that's literally 8 quarters, and they had 7 points during those 2.5 games.
So it may have been after the Bills game. It was a little bit late. It was right before the switch, though. And I was told that Mike Vrabel is definitely paying attention to the offense. That's who he's working with because he fully understood that was the problem of the team at that time. But also Mike Vrabel can adjust, right? Later on in the year when Ryan Tannehill was so efficient, Derrick Henry was running all over everything, there are other things that Vrabel can shift his focus towards to try to fix. So I think that's another great quality on him. And head coaches have to have that, right? They can't just be this defensive-minded head coach that only pays attention to the defense, only pays attention to the linebackers because that's what they know. Vrabel will fully admit that he's never played quarterback in the league, but it doesn't mean that he can't help a quarterback. And I think that is a very positive quality that I think we've seen come out compared to the coaches that I have covered all the way dating back to Jeff Fisher when I was like an intern for Titans Radio. But from Munchak to Wisenhunt to Malarkey, Vrabel is a different breed than those guys and has yielded different results.
Well, Mike Munchak is a great coach for the offensive line, and he has never really gotten his head coaching tenure was a little bit wishy-washy, but is still considered one of the best offensive line coaches in the NFL, and you see that when he went to the Steelers and went to the Broncos. Now, Rob brings something up, Zach, because you just mentioned how Mike Vrabel was paying attention a lot on the offense during those tough times where Mariota wasn't able to get things done. Rob says, can Vrabel focus on the offense this year without Dean Pease, without a defensive play caller, with him being the defensive play caller? Because I think that's going to be a big storyline throughout the entire season is how is Mike Vrabel doing at handling a bigger load of work? It's calling plays on Sunday. It's having a heavier hand in defensive scheming throughout the week. And where does that take him away from, right? Because that might take him away from working with tight ends or offensive line in the run game or working with the quarterbacks or for whatever, or overall game management. So that's a really good comment by Rob there that we're definitely going to find out. That's for sure. Now, it also helps that Arthur Smith has 1 year under his belt and Ryan Tannehill is back with Derrick Henry, and you've got a lot of continuity with the offense.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. You have, like, going into the season, you're probably hedging your bet that you're more comfortable and confident about the offense this year than going into last year when Mariota didn't play week 17 the year before, right? So it's a different feeling now. Again, the coronavirus and all that BS, but going into this training camp, I think it is different.
Yes, A to Z Sports here live on a Tuesday talking Titans. We have a Ryan Tannehill topic coming up next, and we also have a development that's happened since we've been on the show with our next topic with Chris Sims and his quarterback ranking. So I'm actually really excited about this.
Have you already seen it?
I have. So don't
So
go.
you cheated. So you are not playing this game.
I will lead the game. I will not play the game, but I will be the game show host for this game for you guys. So before we get to this Ryan Tannehill topic along with Chris Sims, first, let me tell you guys about Renters Warehouse, the professional landlords in the Nashville area. RentersWarehouse.com is where to go to find out how much your home can rent for. There's so many ways you can use Renters Warehouse to your benefit right now during the coronavirus times. Maybe your mortgage is biting into your income more than you like. You have a way to alleviate some of that with Renters Warehouse with several options. If you own Airbnbs, they can help you out there as well because travelers are not coming through every weekend like they used to be. If you're moving, you don't have to sell your house. You can, but renterswarehouse.com can help you make that mailbox money for the long haul. Renterswarehouse.com is where to go.
AZ Sports, do not forget AZ30. That's what we're giving back to you guys. 30% off everything, every single thing at our shop until football comes back. Shop.azsportsnashville.com. You can get t-shirts, hats, long sleeves. I'm rocking the long sleeve right here. I wear this during the summertime. It's great.
I'm rocking the polo, obviously.
Yeah, you can buy a polo there too. So make sure you check it out. AZ30. That's the promo code. 30% off. Shop.azsportsnashville.com.
All right, A to Z Sports here live on a Tuesday. We've been keeping an eye on Chris Sims and his top 40 quarterback rankings this offseason. And he started at 40 and he was working his way down, and we were kind of waiting to see where Tannehill was going to play out. And then yesterday, Chris Sims nabs Ryan Tannehill right there at number 11, outside the top 10, ahead of Kyler Murray, Kirk Cousins, some big-time veterans. When you get Ben Roethlisberger, Tom Brady, Drew Brees, and Phillip Rivers all in a row at 14 through 17. But Ryan Tannehill is right there at 11. And so here's what Zach and I did, and we lost a lot of time this morning on trying to figure out who's missing, because there's 10 slots ahead of Tannehill. And for the life of us, Zach and I could not find 10 quarterbacks that were ahead of Ryan Tannehill. So here are the 9 that we came up with that we automatically knew will be in the top 10. Patrick Mahomes, Aaron Rodgers, Deshaun Watson, Lamar Jackson, Dak Prescott, Russell Wilson, Carson Wentz, Matt Ryan, and Matt Stafford. That's 9 guys. Who is missing? Because you see a bunch of names on this list. And I was thinking for the longest that either Chris Sims messed up and miscounted something, or he was incredibly high on Marcus Mariota or Jacoby Brissett. So we could not find out who is missing. Zach, I now know who is missing from that list.
So here's my question. Before you tell and disclose, is it user error?
No.
It's not user error. So
It's not-
it is a
it's not an
unique
error.
thing. It's a unique thing that Sims does. And so I know Chris Sims. I used to throw football with Chris Sims. It's how I know how to throw football. People ask me, I'm no NFL quarterback by any means, but I can throw a good spiral, and they how do I do? Well, because a NFL quarterback taught me how to throw a football at some point in time. But I also know something about Chris Sims is he likes to do this. He likes to throw these wrinkles into it and back it up with the knowledge of what he thinks and his opinion. So I don't know. We narrowed it down. It could be Marcus Mariota, but he's not a top 10 quarterback. You cannot convince me that he is a top 10 quarterback, because that's what this list is about, right? It's a top 10 quarterback.
Right.
Cam Newton?
Well, I am currently updating our graphic here to put on the screen where Chris Sims went with this because he released 10 through 6 this morning after we started the show. And I'll quickly throw up on the screen at number 10, it is free agent quarterback Cam Newton, ahead of Ryan Tannehill, then Matt Stafford, then Dak Prescott, who, by the way, signed his franchise tag tender with the Cowboys yesterday. Then former MVP Matt Ryan. Then Carson Wentz, who is yet to really stay completely healthy. So Chris Sims put Cam Newton, who has not really played healthy in 3 seasons and who was cut by the Panthers because he could not stay healthy as well. Cam Newton in the top 10 quarterbacks for 2020 by Chris Sims. Zach, your thoughts?
My question would be, how can you be a top 10 quarterback and not have a job? Right? Unless you did something, right? Got blackballed by the league like Colin Kaepernick, or Ray Rice beat your fiance. He didn't do any of that. He just played bad. But how is he a top 10 quarterback, but he doesn't have a job?
Well,
now, he's got an ego. I get that, but that makes no sense to me.
I don't.
Does it make any sense to you?
No. I don't know how healthy Cam Newton is. I can't put him in the top 10 if I don't know what his shoulder's like, because Zach, we watched him in person. Well, you know what? We could not watch him practice when the Panthers came to practice against the Titans 2 years ago, because Cam Newton was recovering from another shoulder surgery to his throwing arm. And so he was doing like band work on the goalpost and trying to strengthen his rotator cuff or whatever he had fixed.
And the other thing is 2015 was so long ago, and that was his best season. He had one good, really stellar MVP year. And MVP, I get. But that wasn't like 2 years ago. That was 5.
And since then, he's been hurt and he's played poorly. And he hasn't done very well. Now, I think Cam Newton – does Cam Newton have top 10 potential at this point in his career? I don't know. See, the problem with Cam is I need to see him play and see him be healthy before I can really rank him at all. Colton says Cam Newton's 2 things, injury prone and dramatic. Corey says put Cam on most of these rosters and it'll be an upgrade. See, like if Cam's healthy, and that's a humongous if because he hasn't been healthy in over 3 years, Corey. Rob says Cam Newton's around 20 to 25. G-Man says I'd put Jameis ahead of Cam. At least he has the numbers. No, I'm not doing that for sure.
I definitely not. I watched every single snap of Jameis Winston. Don't do that.
So
a lot of people say that, like Jameis Winston's bad. He's bad.
So
I can throw the ball up to Mike Evans, but I can throw the ball up to Mike Evans.
Right. So
you can throw the ball up to Mike Evans.
We saw Ryan Tannehill have an unbelievable year when it comes to analytics, statistics, all that stuff. And Cam Newton, who only played like 2 games, is ahead of Ryan Tannehill. Where does Ryan Tannehill belong on this list?
I think that Ryan Tannehill is in the right spot because, look, Cam Newton has better accolades in his career than Ryan Tannehill.
This isn't about Hall of Fame voting. This isn't, this isn't about an all-decade team. This is about for 2020, right?
So my one thing would be probably to put Ryan Tannehill at 10 because I don't agree with the Cam Newton thing. But
because
if you want to bring longer, look, Dak Prescott in the recent, I'm talking about recent playoff guy, right? And he's going to get the big contract. Matt Ryan, recent, somewhat, been to a Super Bowl. He's shown that he is a really talented quarterback. Carson Wentz has the injury thing. I think Carson Wentz is a little high. That's just, I think, a personal thing that Sims probably has with Carson Wentz because he just, if you like a guy, you like his talent. Carson Wentz has shown us some amazing things that he can do, but consistency is not it. Ryan Tannehill has not showed us consistency either, right?
Sure.
So that's fair. I think Ryan Tannehill is 11 or 10. He's teetering. If he has another good year this year, he's a top 10 quarterback. And that's massive from going to being traded to a top 10 quarterback.
And from the Dolphins, being traded by the Dolphins of all places. A to Z Sports here live. So you guys have a lot of comments because I asked the question, where does Ryan Tannehill belong on this list? So we'll get more of those. But first, let me tell you about Mandu, the Pulse of Fitness, where one 15-minute workout of full-body electronic muscle stimulation simulates 5+ hours in the weight room. Mandu.com. Your first workout is absolutely free, so check them out. It's a perfect opportunity for you to take advantage of Mandu's first free workout because your normal gym probably has a bunch of restrictions around it that make you uncomfortable. Where Mandu is by appointment. It's the safest fitness program you can think about during these pandemic times. So check out Mandu.com. Your first workout is free. It takes 15 minutes and you feel unbelievable after that. And the results are real because the science is real. I've lost over 20 pounds of fat and almost 10% body fat since last July. So coming up in a year, Mandu.com is where to go.
Don't forget AZ30, 30% off, swag, shop.azsportsnational.com.
All right, so the question is, where does Ryan Tannehill belong on this list? Scrolling through your comments here, Rob bringing up how is Brady 15. We can have that at a different
or
date.
Drew Brees.
Well, Drew Brees didn't have a good game in the playoffs against the Vikings and got beat in a big game by Kirk Cousins, which never happens to Kirk Cousins.
You know Drew Brees's, and I'm just going to ask, do you know Drew Brees's statistical column last year? Thumb injury granted.
Yeah, he missed 6 games. I do not off the top of my head, but I understand that it's not what it normally is because he missed a big chunk of games there.
He was tied for 5th in touchdown passes, missing 6 games, and he was tied for 1st first in interceptions with only 4. Oh, he was third in QBR at 71.7. So this is where I disagree, where we'll probably kind of knock Tannehill down to maybe 12 or 13. But Drew Brees, top 10 quarterback. Tom Brady, top 10 quarterback. This is Chris Sims doing this to get a rise out of guys like you and me and everybody else that we're showcasing. Hey, hats off to Sims. That mission accomplished.
So we'll throw the graphic up there because you see 14 through 17 are Roethlisberger, Brady, Brees, and Rivers. I think both Brady and Brees should probably be ahead of Roethlisberger because Ben Roethlisberger is coming off of an elbow injury where we really don't know what to expect with him. And Phillip Rivers, I'm cool with him dropping down because he has kind of fallen off the cliff a little bit. We'll see what happens and how he switches over with a new team in the Colts. I think Kyler Murray is really high at 12. I think Tannehill is better than Kyler Murray. I think he's better than Kirk Cousins. I think Tannehill, because now I'll throw up the graphic of what Sims has done with his 10 through 6. I would take Tannehill over Stafford, and I would take Tannehill versus Carson Wentz is pretty tight because you see a lot of ability with Carson Wentz, and the Eagles just don't have anybody who can catch the damn ball outside of a tight end named Zach Ertz and Dallas Goedert. They don't have anybody at wide receiver. They have nobody at running back. So the Eagles are not really helping him out a lot. I think Tannehill is probably 9 through 11 is a good landing spot, but I definitely disagree with some of the quarterbacks who are ahead of Tannehill and some who are behind Tannehill.
It's just Tannehill is just coming off of one good year. Like, that's it. And so Carson Wentz has already had his one good year, the year he tore his ACL and they won the Super Bowl. And he came back last year, led his team in big games down the stretch. They ended up beating the Cowboys in the deciding game to go to the playoffs instead of Dallas. That's a big game that Carson Wentz played in and won. So the injury thing is big, but I think Ryan Tannehill, that's exactly where I put him. I think he may get slotted down because of the Brees-Brady conversation. Kyler Murray is higher, as you mentioned, than probably most people would put him, but everybody's going to have that. The guy that they really like, they're going that could be questioned. I think I would say that. And
Jeff
Sims probably has more of those than the common man.
Yeah, Jeff says Cousins, Brady, and Brees should all be ahead of Cam, Stafford, and Kyler Murray. Colton says, I'm not sold on Tannehill yet, but he's winning games. If he plays the full season this year and gets close to what he did last year, then he's a top 10 quarterback in his opinion.
Colton, I'll give you that. Colton gets the love of the show.
Oh.
Way to go, Colton. That because I completely understand that thinking. He's not sold on him yet based on 1 year. If he follows up, and what did Colton say? He doesn't have to do what he did last year. If he does close to what he did last year, he will put him in that echelon. So he's not setting the bar even higher than what he accomplished. I like that. Colton, I agree with that. I don't think any Titans fan should be completely and utterly sold on Ryan Tannehill. I think you should always have a gleam of doubt, if especially it's only just one good year.
Yeah, Josh says he literally said that earlier. So there you go. We'll give Josh a little credit there. Herschel on YouTube says Carson Wentz was playing against Washington and Dallas. LOL. That's a crap division. And then you throw the Giants in there too. Yeah, the Eagles should have done so much more than what they did, but their season was just injuries left and right all over the place, all over the roster. And Carson Wentz cannot stay healthy, which is a big reason why the Eagles drafted Jalen Hurts in the second damn round of the draft in April. So there's some pressure being put on Carson Wentz this upcoming season and moving into the future. That's for sure, too. All right.
For sure.
A to Z Sports. Let's get to our end of show topic on this Tuesday. Maybe Zach relates to this because he was trying to flush his system yesterday after the beach trip, and he drank a lot of electrolytes. I don't know. But what is your
Well, no, I'll tell you why we got on this topic when we come back. I have a reasoning behind it.
Good. I guess you would. What is your go-to / favorite sports drink? But first, Zach, tell people about where they should go to for new floors.
Yeah, that is Calvin and Subtle. CalvinandSubtle.com. They will help you out with your hardwood floors. Look, 615-448-6414 is the number. Give them a call. What happens is they come out, they take a look at where you want to do hardwood floors or what carpet you want to get ripped up. You can go into their showroom, look at their hardwood flooring there, or they can give you samples. You pick out your perfect floor, and within 1 to 2 weeks, they come in, they order the material, and they install it. It's that simple. It's that easy. It's cost-effective. CalvinandSubtle.com.
A to Z Sports, don't forget AZ30. That's the promo code for 30% off anything at shop.atozsportsnashville.com. Again, promo code AZ30 for 30% off all of our shirts, long sleeve, short sleeve, hats, polos, pullovers. Shop.atozsportsnashville.com is where to go for that. So, Zach, you asked the question, what is your favorite sports drink? Why did you come up with this in a show topic?
Today is National Hydration Day, guys.
Okay.
You didn't know that? Are you kidding?
Sorry.
I mean, everybody. Today is National Hydration Day.
Yeah. Okay. So you're going to Instagram story your favorite sports drink with a hashtag later?
Yeah, for sure.
Hashtag ad. So, Zach, Rob says Zach had to sweat out all those daiquiris from the weekend. No, you
yes. I mean,
daiquiris.
I went. Here was the length of time that I tried to sweat out all of the toxins that I put into my body over the weekend. I went to the sauna on Sunday night to try to sweat it out. I sweated it out. It still didn't work. I woke up with chapped lips and sunburnt and still hungover. You saw me yesterday morning. Then yesterday afternoon, I played 2 full hours of beach volleyball, and I sweated a ton there. And I still woke up, and I was slightly cloudy. You know, when you have just like a couple of clouds in the sky. So I've been drinking Gatorade, but I thought it was perfect time to ask this. And I'm really curious because I don't think we've ever talked about this, Austin. I have no idea where you're going with that.
So and Captain Kronk says anyone who doesn't say water is wrong, which is a funny comment because it makes me think of the water boy. But it's interesting because I have actually learned recently that I have a hard time with my legs staying hydrated with electrolytes. That when I get hungover, I feel it in my legs for some reason. But Mandu, because the in-body analysis actually shows your hydration levels, and my legs are always more dehydrated than the rest of my body. So I've actually added more electrolytes into my day-to-day routine to try to help that. So if I was walking into a gas station to buy a sports drink, I go to the Body Armor section. That is where I go to. I don't go to Gatorade. I don't do Powerade unless I'm literally coming right after doing something athletic or competitive, which I don't really do that much anymore. But I go to the Body Armor section because it's got less of the sugar stuff, the bad stuff that Gatorade has, and more the natural electrolytes because it's made with a base of coconut water. So I Body Armor.
What's your favorite flavor though?
I like I like melon and I like the watermelon mix. They have like a watermelon berry that's awesome. And you can't find the watermelon berry at every grocery store. Like every grocery store has like 3 options that are like the cookie cutter mainstream options that are like black cherry, fruit punch, which fruit punch is gross, and then like strawberry or something. But if you find a watermelon or a melon, that's what you got to go with because that means you're at the right gas station there.
Yeah, and Josh brings up Gatorade has a new Body Armor type drink.
It's like Bolt
based
something.
off of Bolt. It's based off of real watermelon. I have had that. It's overpriced for what you get. Oh, that's
Marketing.
The problem with it. Yeah, I get it. So I'm particular about my Powerade and sports drink. Let's just say I drink one version of Powerade that is Cherry Mountain Blast. It's blue. It's delicious, but it's not your traditional blueberry Mountain Blast. it has the hint of cherry in it. Very key. So that's my Powerade of choice. My Gatorade ranking goes as follows. It's pretty easy. I go white cherry, I go citrus cooler, and then I go lemon lime. That order. And because it's hard to find the citrus coolers of the world, that was Michael Jordan's favorite Gatorade. It's one of mine. I like body. I got on a body armor kick. I actually got on a coconut water kick in general.
Yeah, coconut water is good
I
stuff.
drink that.
Yes.
But overall, out of all of the sports drinks that I drink, the most is white cherry Gatorade. And I hate zero. Like, I don't want zero sugar. Give me the damn sugar, okay? Like, it tastes like crap. It tastes fake. It's like Splenda in your coffee. I know I don't want any Splenda in my coffee. That tastes terrible. It's nasty.
Yes. Wesley tries to add. Wesley, I'm already doing it, and he brings up a certain supplement. I've already worked on. I do it now. I now do a powder supplement for my electrolytes with BCAAs with that. So that's what I go to now. I'm a supplement guy too. I mean, Zach makes fun of me for my supplements sometimes, but I'm a supplement guy. And so I don't really.
Okay, I'll tell you the reason why. The reason why I am skeptical, unless they want to sponsor the show and they can teach me something, maybe you can endorse them. I'm not. You pay me money, I'll change my mind on things. But
so you can be bought.
I can't.
Let that be known. Zach can be bought. He just said it.
I can be bought for the right price or the right principle, right? If you can tell me why I need to endorse your company, if I'm skeptical, or you pay me a buku of money, I will sell it. And I feel that I can sell it very well. Here's the reason why I'm skeptical of all the supplements that you have taken in your life or will take, whatever, is because they're not approved. You don't know what the hell they're putting in. You have no idea. You are getting that advice for some Joe Schmo guy, who's jacked up, lift weights a bunch. He's like, man, this is really good. You actually do not know what you are putting into your body because it is not approved. And so that's my issue, right? It is not going through a series of regulation. It could be something that causes cancer. And if you keep taking it for years and years, you're going to die of it. But you didn't know that because you trusted Jake at NutriShop, right? So that is my issue. Don't trust Jake, okay? He doesn't know what the hell he's talking about because he doesn't know how to pronounce probably 60% of the actual chemicals that are in the supplement he's selling and you're about to put in your body. That's the reason why I'm skeptical. Jake, I would love for you to prove me wrong.
But I do more than natural supplements. I don't necessarily do like all of that stuff. But that very funny as you got Rob doing the dead emoji.
But also very true.
Michael says the way you were acting during the Blitz game last week seemed like you were taking some supplements. Air quotes is there, Zach.
And there's another thing. I don't take supplements. I drink water. Haven't drank any coffee this week. That's probably why I'm going effing crazy because I'm about to leave and I can't go to I am in a situation. I'm in between, right? I can't go to the grocery store because I'm about to leave town, but now it's already Tuesday. So now I'm drinking water and eating like a cheese quesadilla in the morning because that's all I have.
Cheese quesadilla for breakfast? That's
because I didn't have anything.
Michael says
so hungover yesterday I couldn't go to the grocery store. No.
Oh man. Michael says you can use that deer antler spray. Yeah, Ray Lewis had that going back in the day.
Exactly.
Tommy's on my side. Says because what the FDA approves is so great. The FDA approves a lot of stuff that isn't good for us either. So look, like
it's a regulation, Tommy. Are you kidding me? The FDA is an American association that approves things that they have tested. They at least are in the industry. They're not like Jake, who graduated from Centennial High School and got a quick job at GNC. That's my issue.
Yeah, Jake works at GNC, not at NutriShop. NutriShop has higher standards than Jake. So Josh brought up, asked Taylor Lewan about the about the supplements. So Lawan, though, we broke the story after he announced. We broke the story that Lawan was taking like 27 supplements a day. I'm only doing 4, only 4 a day. So that's not
still
that. And then like a couple of them like protein.
You're not even close. He's 6'8" left tackle in the NFL. You're nothing. You're a talk show host.
Ethan Ramsey asked, "How did my fast food binge go last week?" Awful. I felt like crap. I ate both my lunch and my dinner that Zach told me to eat within 90 minutes of each other. So I took a nap in the afternoon. I woke up on Friday.
I was not going to bitch at it because I was on vacation, but I thought that was BS.
Why?
Because it's lunch and dinner. You don't eat them all at the same time. That's the principle of the magic bucket.
Yeah, but
you have to space it out from lunch and then dinner.
But I
can't
told you.
Take all of your medicine.
Why not?
I thought that was unfair.
No,
because that's not the rules of the magic bucket. That's not what I did.
You got to pick 2 meals for me to eat, and I ate those 2 meals.
No, I know. It says lunch and dinner.
No,
that's
says
what
pick
it is.
The meals.
So I thought that was actually absolute BS. You now brought it up. I just tried to block it out of my mind because I was going to vacation. I was not trying to get upset.
It would have been so much easier.
That was ultimate BS because I had already done it in the way it was supposed to be done.
Yeah,
and you
because
just tried to shortcut it.
Because I have a wife that I cook dinner for on a.
So what? That does not matter. The magic bucket influences your life for one day. Like you're okay, bud. You're gonna be fine.
Zach, I ate the food you told me to eat. And I put myself through worse hell by doing it within 90 minutes.
Again, I didn't complain about it then. I let it go.
I told you that day that I already had dinner plans that we made the night before for Thursday night, and so I did it. I did what you asked me to do. I ate a lot of food on Thursday. I ate way too much food on Thursday.
I personally thought it's already done, so it doesn't really matter. But I personally thought it was BS. That's my opinion. You can disagree with it. It's okay.
Yeah, get out of here with that.
And I'm with Ethan. I'm with Ethan. Boo this man.
But Friday, so you know, on the show with Buck.
It's not in the spirit of the idea.
Okay. The spirit of the idea, good one. Okay, Zach.
Well, I had already done it before the correct way. And
yeah, because you don't have a wife to go home and cook and
you
eat
took
dinner
a shortcut. Well, you signed up for the magic bucket, right? Like I had already done it before.
I know that, and I ate, and I told you the food that you had to eat. You did it, and I ate the food that you
said
told
for
me.
lunch, and you said for dinner, right?
Yes, and I had to make a decision.
And you didn't eat lunch and dinner. You just ate lunch.
I ate 2 lunches. 2 individual.
And that's not what it says. That's why it's incorrect. So you misrepresented what was the magic bucket.
Arrest me for misrepresenting the magic bucket.
So then I'll just stop doing things that I don't want to do.
You haven't done the rap yet, so I mean we're still waiting on that.
And that was because to execute it, and things have changed since then. I told you I will do the rap.
In the spirit.
Then,
no, here's the thing.
We don't know how to execute the rap the way that you executed it. If we go on location one day, we can absolutely do that.
Okay, Thursday.
If that's what you want to do, we can do that.
I mean,
now it's not going to be suitable for work.
well, I'll say this: don't make your rap dirty. Like, come on, you can make it clever and good without it being dirty.
Who
like
knows? You don't know my rap. You don't know my rap game.
Yeah, you don't have a rap game.
I could be more DMX instead of Big Willie style and Will Smith. You don't know. I'm trying to figure out my rap, my rap feel.
All right, Eminem. I mean, that's look, you can have you written your rap? Because if you want to go to the spirit of the magic bucket, then all it said was write 12 bars of rap lyrics. It didn't talk about have music underneath it. That was me taking it to the next level.
Because I'm going to execute it, right?
Okay.
Like, and that was my problem with what happened last week is it wasn't executed properly. But it's done. I can't do anything about it.
Now, Rob says just make it and post it. No, you have to do it live on the show, and Zach's going to do it live on the show. But Rob,
so now I'll record it It'll be cool.
No, I was
I'll
disagreeing
just do it
with
real
Rob.
quick.
What are you talking about?
I'll find a shortcut and I'll just
No.
record it.
No, you
That's
got
what
to do
I'll
it.
do. It's a
No,
great
you do it-
idea.
No, Zach, stop talking. You do it live on the show because that's where you get your heart beating through your chest because you know you're having to rap live.
No,
in front of people.
I'll record it. That's a
Zach,
great idea.
stop talking. That's not what it is. That's
Yeah,
what do you-
I'll shortcut
I was
it.
disagreeing
That's a
with
great
your idea. I was disagreeing
Oh.
with Rob's idea, not trying to let you out on that. You're going to do
No, I
your
know. I
rap.
think it's a good idea, though. I'll record it and we'll.
So
we'll-
you're making
that's how
excuses
we-
again because earlier you said, well, we'll have
No,
to wait
just
till we go.
I'll shortcut it.
Yeah, exactly. Because you can be bought, you can shortcut things all you want, but you also
Well, you
said-
shortcutted it last week.
I didn't shortcut it. I made it worse on myself. I made it
you
worse on
shortcut
myself.
by having 2 lunches instead of lunch and dinner. That's a shortcut.
Chris says he thinks Austin's punishment was worse because he did both meals in a short time. Exactly.
But that wasn't the rules. Look, we can argue about this till we're put in the face. I disagree with what you did. You already did it. I can't do anything about it. Done.
All right. Well, we'll see
Do
you
you
guys.
understand why I think this, though?
No.
Okay. Then we have to end the show.
Josh Carroll says we'll see Zach Lamore on Thursday.
Yes. Well, I'll record it, so don't
No,
worry about it.
no,
I'll record it.
No.
Oh,
Live.
yeah. I'm recording it now.
we'll
It's
do
a
it live.
shortcut.
We'll do it live.
We
All
will
right.
not do it live. It will be recorded.
We'll see you guys later. Maybe Zach does need a Snickers because he ate a cheese quesadilla for breakfast this morning. I don't know. All right. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Thanks for watching.
Adios.